Mendy won't be fit for the match tomorrow. We hope the injury's not too long. Thiago, Silva, after his trip and back, he's not unfit, but he's not ready to play the game because of the travelling and the game that he played. So he won't be in the squad. Chilwell is in the squad, so he's got over some of the feeling he had, which took him out of the England squad around the injury that he has had for a while now. Pulisic is in the squad and fit to play. Hakim Ziyech is in the squad, not fit to start but fit to participate some minutes, we hope. And I'm trying to think if I've missed anyone out there. You let me know if there's someone you want.
Look, does that mean that Kepa will play in goal?
I'll make that decision myself out of the goalkeepers for tomorrow.
And as far as Hakim Ziyech is concerned, you want to give him some minutes. He's finally ready to make his debut. How excited are you at that prospect and seeing him on the pitch at the same time as Werner and Hammond?
Yeah. I'm obviously, we brought Hakim here and it feels like a long time ago now, but he also has not played since the Dutch league finished during lockdown period. It's a long time and he's worked so hard. He's been fantastic in terms of his professionalism to get fit. And looks really good in training and its match fitness. I've got a really open relationship with him to know where he's at and how I feel about it. So just game minutes is what we need now. But yes, of course, I'm excited to get him in and around it to bring what we brought him to the club for, which is, you know, the opportunity to create chances for us, to be the talented player that he is, that we saw at Ajax. And yeah, I look forward to seeing him play.
It's the first opportunity we have to speak to you since Abraham and Chilwell were at the gathering that they shouldn't have been at. I wonder what you make of that. And with the training ground now in an area facing increased restrictions because of COVID, have you reminded them and the rest of your players about adhering to the rules?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've lived in this bubble, as we call it here, for quite a long time now, and we have to make sure we stay on point with that at the training ground. The players also have a responsibility, as to the public now, to follow the rules that we are being told, albeit they're not always massive clarity in them, but that's not an excuse for the lads. They make mistakes. I remind them of their responsibilities, and from the conversation I had with them, they were say innocent mistakes, but they understood their mistakes, and we move on. And I hope and I expect that it won't happen again.
Last one, please, Ian.
It's been quite a week off the pitch. Big picture has started to come and gone. The EFL have rejected the Premier League's financial package from there's been disagreements among those at the top of the FA and the EFL. There's calls for an independent body for football governance. In a way, is football at top, the way it's run, in a bit of a mess right now, and is an independent body perhaps the way forward?
Well, I won't use the word mess, but I think if you look across society and you look what COVID's done to the world, we're all in, you know, difficult times. So I don't want to be too critical for that, because I think people are trying to find solutions all the time. With the actual football picture, I haven't paid enough attention to it to give you details to know exactly how we move forward, because I've been concentrating on the Southampton game over this last week. I've read headlines without reading details, so I'd hate to comment too much on that. All I can say is from Chelsea's side, as we've remained, I think, since the beginning of lockdown with some of the great work Chelsea did, we're certainly intent on making sure that we help protect, we're involved in conversations around protecting the football pyramid as such, from grassroots all the way up to EFL and Premier League towards the Premier League, that we can. We'll be very involved in those conversations when needed, and as we always are, and try and do the best. I can't comment on too much of the other talk that's going on, other than hoping that we do find something that supports that football pyramid that I talk about.
John Southall, 5 Live.
Thank you.
Hi John, hi.
It seems ages, doesn't it, since we played a Premier League game. What have you made of the start of the Premier League season? We've had a ludicrous number of goals, we've had some ridiculous results. Why do you think it's been like that?
I think there's probably a lot of reasons for it. It's the Premier League, the most competitive league in the world, and we can't treat any team with ease, or I have a feeling that you're going to have a comfortable game in the Premier League. It's been shown too many times. We had that at West Brom with a difficult start that we clawed back. Other teams have found it out in their own ways. I think there's probably the short pre-season definitely feels like it had an effect to us, and I think it would have affected other teams. Time to work on the training ground is crucial, particularly with squads that are bringing in new players, trying to work on basic ideas or trying to tighten up or become more fluid. These things only come from the training ground in general. So I certainly feel that's had a big factor. Maybe now with the 2 weeks break, players are getting fitter wherever they can, because if they had or if not, they've been here trying to get fitter and ready. So maybe we'll see things change slightly, but we can't take away the fact that this Premier League is always going to throw up surprises.
You've spoken about players coming back. Tony Rudiger played all 3 games for Germany in the international break. He's obviously still in your thoughts, but can he play his way back into your starting 11? How difficult a journey is it going to be back for him? Is he in the squad tomorrow?
Every player can play their way into the starting 11, the squad. That's in every player's hands. That's how I try and work here. Is how I work. Is that things I do are always for the best of the team, in terms of best for the club, because we're trying to get results every week. So the players all know that, and the beauty of the window now being shut is that we can get to work and know what the squad is. Everybody knows that they can contribute, and we will need them and rely on them because the amount of games we play, and Tony's the same as every other player on that one.
I know international breaks can be difficult, but when you were a player, can it help a player when they come back? I think of players like Mason Mount, Reece James. Do you get extra confidence when you play with England, then you come back to your club and spring in your step? Did you find that?
I think at times you can find that, yeah. I think there's definitely some worth in that idea. I thought Reece had a fantastic debut. Mason gets his goal and contributed, in those 2 games that he played. And I think I come back to a point I made before, though, is that where players have not really had pre-season games, have had enough minutes on the pitch, I'm actually happy. Sometimes you might, want to bemoan the fact that a player might go away and play 90 minutes or big minutes in games when they're away because you're kind of selfish and want them for Chelsea. At the moment, our players need games, so I'm pleased with the ones that have played.
Liam Twomey, Athletic.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Liam.
With Christian and Hakim now ready to play, is the bigger challenge for you to try and find the right balance of all these attacking players, or is the bigger challenge for them individually to convince you that they deserve to be part of the starting unit?
Well, I think any team that wants to compete at the top, towards the top of the league or Champions League, and play in the FA Cup and go through a season needs more than a one player per position. It needs to be competitive across the front area. We had it last year. We lost William, we lost Pedro, we lost Batshuayi. So we brought in players that brings us the same level of competition in terms of numbers, and I feel like the quality levels and some of the options we brought in, of course you bring them in because you want to improve. So it's up to the players, of course. It will always remain up to them in terms of their performance, and at the same time it gives me nice problems in terms of we can be selecting players, we can use them through the season, we'll have options to come off the bench. So yeah, I'm happy with what some people might want to call a problem in that area.
Okay, last question, Nick Pewell.
Hi Frank, thanks for your time. Obviously, he's obviously going to need time to get to full sharpness and everything, but with the blend of him, Pulisic and the other guys in there, is that going to add an extra dimension, creativity and vision-wise that we haven't seen yet? And obviously we haven't seen it for the obvious reasons of, you've talked about with no pre-season and injuries, etc. Yeah,
I think there's been a culmination of things that work. If you're bringing in players, and we brought in some players I know other teams have in the Premier League, but you're always looking to build relationships over the pitch, whether it be full-backs and wingers, strikers and people playing behind them, midfield players as combinations, centre-backs, goalkeeper with his back four. I think those things can only be worked on, and I think when we didn't have a lot of these players fit already, the ones that we brought in, and now we're seeing that they're starting to get fit, we get some time on the training ground, the relationships on and off the pitch can grow. So I hope that we'll keep working. We've got a lot of work to do. We are not the end product. There are other teams that showed last year and the last 2 or 3 years how long it takes, the work that it takes to become top teams in the world, and we have to do it in our own way, and we're at pretty much the start of that journey in a lot of ways. So the work has begun and it continues all the time to keep trying to improve.
Okay, that's the end of the broadcast section.